As a University of Queensland veterinary graduate, I was particularly delighted when I heard in 2019 that a fellow University of Queensland graduate, Jeanette Kessels, who is in veterinary practice, had started Vets for Climate Action. I've been very interested for some time now in climate change and the consequences. My introduction came with the Nobel Prize in 1996. I quickly became aware that climate change was a major issue, and I've been writing about it and talking about it since about 2005. I think an area we must all take seriously to do what we can, both within our own activities and to educate the broader public about the risk to their companion and domestic animals and the risks to wildlife.
I'm Joe Schmitt. I'm a veterinarian. I'm the first Indigenous veterinarian in Australia, and I live in the Northern Territory. So as a veterinarian, the bulk of my work is between the Queensland and Northern Territory border. It's been an ongoing observational reckoning of the changes that have been happening over the last 20 years. We've noticed, due to change in climate, that the environment is changing. From a disease point of view, all of those factors increase the potential risk for diseases to be spread beyond what their normal boundaries are. And that poses a risk both from a zoonotic point of view or a One Health point of view, also from a production point of view for exotic diseases entering Australia potentially through an unregulated pathway. When you've got outside influences causing that change to happen quicker, then animals and people in the environment do not have the time to adapt to those changes. And that's the worry. And one of those ones that is speeding that on a global level is fossil fuels. Australia has a responsibility nationally to be proactive in seeking other avenues to work forward progressively away from fossil fuels. If we can try and encourage people to be brave in making those decisions, thinking about the future and the future generations, then that's really, really important. That's part of what my job is.
I'm a vet. I've practiced in the Northern Territory for the last nearly 30 years. It's getting considerably hotter here. That begins to be ecocidal on an environment, and that is certainly what we saw that year. And we are destined to have more of those years into the future. So, yeah, I hold grave concerns for the Northern Territory and the future of our ecosystems. We've got the largest tropical savanna in the world in this region, and that has a really rich biodiversity attached to it, and that is now classified as collapsing, and it's collapsing due to climate change. And I think the reality of that we live with every October and November when it becomes increasingly unbearable to live here. But I don't think the rest of Australia yet has to grapple with that reality in the way that we do. It's clear we need to stop exploiting fossil fuels and exporting fossil fuels.
Yeah, my name is Ray Dixon. My Aboriginal name is Dimakarri, and I come from Mullinga community. Also, I look after country. Country is very important. I'm connected to country now, but I'm getting older and I see a lot of change now. It's a bit sad, and it's really sad, and it's sort of frightening for the next generation to come and to live with it. The temperature is far too hot here.
The ecosystem has collapsed now because we're worrying about the economy. We're digging too much out and taking too much, not thinking about what's behind. We're moving too fast.
One of the things that may have not occurred to everyone is that with a veterinary training, we both have an obligation to be interested in this, but we're also particularly well trained to be involved. We're concerned with the patients we see in our clinics. We're concerned with the patients in the field, large animals. We're concerned with animal production systems. We think about ecosystems. And that kind of background makes us particularly suitable to incorporate thinking about the science of climate change in our practice and in what we talk about. We have this very broad remit. We think broadly and biologically, and we have a very real contribution to make.